Welcome back to another episode of Who Is With Ross Oteri. My name is Ross Oteri. I'm here with Maydha Sood as per usual.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Fine.
Oh.
How are you?
Real talkative today.
Always am.
I'm good. I guess we actually have something to talk about today. Which is
we always have something to talk about.
For sure, yeah. Every single week, it's always planned out to the T.
Absolutely.
My psycho roommate.
Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Classic university lore.
Or just like early 20s lore.
True, yeah.
But yeah, I had an incident with my roommate who started screaming at me at 3 p.m. I'll tell the story here to you, I guess.
And to all of our many, many listeners.
So the guy's kind of been odd already. He had an incident with one of the maintenance people where he wanted them to replace a toilet.
Like a whole toilet?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because according to him, his balls were hitting the water.
Oh my God.
Every time he sat down.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know. No, disgusting. I know. And they wanted, because he said it was too low and it was unsanitary, so he was demanding that they replace it, and the guy which was trying to explain that they can't replace a whole toilet, that they're all kind of standard.
Yeah.
Does
that, oh my God, does he face that problem everywhere? Because like most toilets are the same.
You know, that's what I was wondering. Because it's like, God bless him, you know?
How do people exist like this?
It gets worse.
Oh my God.
It gets way worse. He loves to complain about noise. He's not even like a sensitive sleeper. He's like ultra sensitive sleeper, where I'll be like unloading the dishwasher at like 9-10 p.m. and he's like, please don't, because I'm sleeping. Like that level. I don't know if that's unreasonable.
It is.
That is?
Yeah.
At 10 p.m.
See, it's unreasonable mainly because this is a you problem. Why are you making it a me problem? You know? Like, it's his problem.
Oh, you're saying he's being unreasonable for saying that about me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's how I agree.
He's the unreasonable one. And if he's a light sleeper and he knows it, he should take measures to fix that.
See, and this is another thing I tried to talk to him about, like wearing earplugs. He has said that he doesn't want to wear earplugs because he doesn't want to wear earplugs 24/7 and then give himself an ear infection.
Okay, then wear like a...
He doesn't want to do... That's the thing, though. He doesn't want to compromise. He just kind of wants to have his way. Yeah.
He should move out.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Live alone. That's the only way you can have your own way.
Yeah.
Have you told him that?
I mentioned that to him. I'll get to that, though.
Okay.
But the main incident that happened a few days ago was I'm cooking. I was home. I'm rarely ever home. So I really get the chance to like cook for myself and meal prep. So I was actually getting a chance to I was home, I was meal prepping, and I was playing music. I was also doing a face mask at the same time. So the music was playing from my phone speakers at around like 2 p.m., 3 p.m. Half volume. He comes out, starts boiling some eggs, and then like really aggressively is like, what if I was sleeping right now? Would I really want to hear your music? And I said, you're cooking. And he's like,
what if my grandmother had wheels?
She'd be a bike.
Exactly.
I said, you're cooking. Is it a big deal? And he's like, no, but I just don't want to hear your blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you can just say that. You don't have to, you know. And he's like, no, but I shouldn't have to say that because it's part of the rules of whatever, of the contract that we signed, that it has to be quiet. And I'm like,
that's not a rule.
Yeah.
Have you reported him to the RA?
it gets worse than this.
Oh my God! Can you just like get along with the
Oh,
story? 'Cause
I am.
have so many questions.
Speeding. I'll speed up.
Okay.
It eventually escalates to the point where he's screaming, like genuinely, like getting really aggressive and screaming at me.
Yeah.
And I recorded him screaming at me, and getting mad. And then I was like, dude, I think this issue we're just not going to resolve. I think we should get an RA involved. And he was like, oh yeah, we can call the RA, we can call security, we can call the police, we can call
the RCMP, we can
Yeah.
call the military.
He literally said we can call the federal investigating, and I was like, you want to call the FBI?
Wrong country, my guy.
Yeah. So yeah, he was getting really aggressive, and then at a certain point he notices me filming him, and then he grabs his phone and starts filming, but then starts filming himself.
What?
And talking to his camera, talking to himself, and he's like jittery, and he's really moving antsy, and he's like da 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 da, and he's like, I'm busy, I can't deal with this, and you know how busy I am.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Maydha Sood, how busy I am.
Yeah.
So when he was like, I'm busy, you know, I'm like, brother, I have 16-hour days almost every day. You know, there's certain things, you know. But yeah, and then it was a whole blow up, and then that's when I was like, I had mentioned to him, like, you know, I don't know if a roommate situation is the best situation for you. Like, you might want to like live on your own, because it seems like everything, because it's not just me he's complaining about. He's complained about every one of I live with 4 people, including him. So he's complaining about the other 2 guys. Everyone has caused a problem with him. Or sorry, he has a problem with everyone. Where I'm like, brother, I don't think this is the right, like this isn't compatible for you. I think, like, you know. And he got so mad and then slammed his door, fully slammed his room door, like, douche, like a teenage boy.
Wow.
Yeah. This is a 26-year-old man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, boy, I guess. Yeah.
Why is he 26?
He's a graduate student.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think maybe he's just not proud of his living situation. Like, he's 26 years old, living with 4 other roommates.
22-year-olds.
Yeah. Who are so much younger, so much better, so much
cleaner. Also, he has his coffee machine that he's never cleaned once.
Oh, that's probably growing mold.
It's 100% growing mold on the inside. And I'm the only one who ever wipes down the counters. And it's always the coffee stains. So he's never, even when he makes coffee, he never wipes it down. He also doesn't wash the cup that he uses. So he'll just reuse the same dirty cup over, and then he'll leave it out there.
Oh my God.
You're
like roommates with a Karen, but also like a entitled, useless boy at the same time. Like, he picked the worst of all worlds and just like combined it into one insufferable person.
Yeah, that's it. You got it.
Do you think he watches the podcast?
Definitely not. But yeah, that's the situation. And then I had to get an RA involved, and I genuinely don't know what he's gonna do, because I mentioned the RAs, and he was like, we have 2 options here. You can just do what I say, or we can get the RAs involved, and we can have a situation where we're doing a tit for tat. And this is all because he left his food on the stove and then went to take a shower. And
my God.
And I told him not to do that because it could start a fire. And he was like, oh, so you want to play this type of game just because of the music? And I was like, brother, these 2 things are not the same.
Is he an international student?
I don't think it matters.
I think it matters if he wants to escalate things.
Yeah,
because like, you can't be deported. Him, on the other hand.
Well, it's like, that's not I don't know how he could get deported.
He could easily get kicked out of university, and then if you're kicked out of university and your study permit is gone, you're gonna be kicked out of the country.
This is true, but that's not the goal, obviously. You know.
Well, no, but like, if he wants to escalate things, he has more to lose, essentially.
I guess. I just want to get the thing solved. But no, what could disturb me was that he was like, we can do tit for tat, you know, I can disturb your sleep and I can do things to you too. And I was like, what do you have planned, my friend? So I haven't been home the past few days. I've been sleeping elsewhere.
Oh my God, where are you sleeping, Ross?
I have a hotel.
You have a hotel?
Yeah.
In this economy?
Mm-hmm. In this political climate, I have a hotel.
In this political climate?
Yeah.
Where is your hotel?
It's a few blocks away.
Few blocks away?
Mm-hmm.
How much are you paying per night?
$150.
$150?
Yeah. That's why you haven't been paid.
Right, that's why.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, yeah, that's the roommate story and why I've been kind of like oof. But yeah, that's the tea for you.
That is tea indeed.
Mm-hmm.
You should sue him.
We'll see what happens. I don't think it'll get to that point, but he's already kind of threatened me with this fucking tit for tat thing, so we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, that's a weird thing to say.
I had to go to I reported him to the RA already. I reported him to, and then there's going to be meetings, so we'll definitely have updates for you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Tune in.
Anyway, we should probably get to the guest.
Yeah.
This next guest is a friend of mine, a smart person, especially on biology, science broadly. Please welcome Simon Mattern to the show. Simon.
Woohoo!
Simon Mattern. Yep, we just start.
Yep, okay, we're rocking on.
Simon Mattern, welcome to the show.
Are you going to ask me who I am? Because you just answered the question.
Well, it's never been reversed on me like this.
Huh? Well, who are you?
No.
What?
I'm Ross. This is Ross. My name is Ross.
Perfect.
Simon Mattern, who I don't like the start of this. But you know what? It's all staying in.
It's all staying in, no editing, one cut.
And this is recording, right? Everything's recording?
Yep. Rolling?
Wonderful.
Live.
Yeah. No cuts. Simon.
As we say in show business.
Shh. Go
as
ahead.
we say in show business. Sow those oats.
Sow those oats.
Yep.
Simon Mattern, who are you?
Hi, my name is Simon Mattern. I am a
bastard.
biology and computer science student here at UBC. I'm passionate about a lot of things, but my biggest passion is whatever I'm going to talk about today, I guess.
Oh, why'd you have to say it in that tone of voice?
I don't know.
Oh.
That's how we're starting. This is surreal.
What's surreal about this experience?
It's weird to see these sorts of things on like clips and to listen to podcasts all the time and through my life. I love podcasts, like podcasts and audiobooks. Love them. And it's weird to just sit in a room and be like, oh, it is just two people sitting in a room with someone else in the corner. And you're just kind of...
Someone else in the corner, yeah.
Wow, yeah, that made me feel real special.
You're part of this.
Yeah.
That's important.
You have a camera angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
It's a cheaper camera, but it's still there.
It's an iPhone.
Actually, it's about the same. It's actually the most expensive camera in here, I think.
Really?
I swear.
Damn.
Yeah.
These your cameras? We should...
These are our cameras.
Our cameras.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice. Okay.
All right. I think some people who might be watching this who know you know how much you love biology.
It's very true. You say I made a degree out of it.
I don't know. Where did that love start from, I guess? We should start there.
Yeah. So growing up, particularly my mother, both of my parents are very inquisitive people, and really instilled in me a love for learning and the process of asking questions. We grew up in kind of a like no questions barred household. Very few things were taboo. This is kind of a bit of an anecdote, but I had like never had a sex ed talk with my parents because it was just never a secret. Like it was just kind of the things that like just nothing is off the table. Learning is important, and you should never, suppress that kind of curiosity. A big thing growing up was that my mother loved to buy books, big library readers, and I used to love the Usborne animal books. I don't know if you've ever... I had like the book fair you'd pick, and you'd go through, and I would... all these Usborne books that just had animal facts, and like from day one, I was like memorizing all these different facts and things. So I've always had a deep love for animals and for nature. Particularly growing up here in Vancouver, like nature is all around us, and also very outdoorsy, and that's kind of a big thing from my father, who is like a big rock climber, huge hiker, camper. Like, so we were always doing those kinds of things. So it was the combination of this sort of curiosity instilled by my parents and this desire to experience the things that you're learning, which I think combined are so important. Because on their own, both those things are important. I think a lot of people have one of the two, but together, I feel like that's what sort of drove me into this passion. But the actual deciding on doing a biology degree, I started out in just general sciences in first year. And then after that year was done, I was like really debating what sort of degree I wanted to focus on. It was mostly between chemistry and biology. We were actually doing a family trip to New York. And we were at the Natural History Museum. And we had 2 hours in the museum. For the first hour and a half, me and my mother stood in one room, and I just talked to her about all the things I knew about the biology of those things in the room. Like, it was like the microscopic world, I think.
Yeah, the little guys that get no love.
Little guys like get no love. Yo, you have tardigrades? These men are crazy. They put them in space and they came back fine. They entered the state called torpor. It's like a true hibernation. It's crazy. It's super, super cool. But I was talking to my mom about this, and she turns to me and she goes, "If you don't go into biology, I'll strangle you." But in like, of course, in the most loving way possible. But that was sort of, I really like, it's one thing to have this passion and to love these kinds of things. It's another thing to have someone notice that and be like, "I know you're struggling. I'm going to push you off this edge because I can tell how passionate you are about these kinds of things." And it's just no looking back. Loved everything about this degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. The nature docs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot.
Yeah.
I've seen so many. David Attenborough. I think that's my inner voice at this point.
So when you're at the toilet, it's like there's a young Simon.
Who's saying that?
No, but is there a nature doc that if someone could watch just one, what would you suggest? Which one?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I think the newer ones I've seen, like the Our Planet ones, Our Planet 2 especially, also voiced by David Attenborough. I think they're on Netflix. Those ones are fantastic. Not only because, they all do the whole nature thing well, but that one has a really interesting segment that I love, which is animals in the modern world. And it's how animals are adapting to living in a cityscape. And it starts out very lighthearted, like it is this conversation of like, wow, look at these raccoons eating cotton candy. That's crazy. Don't wash that, you silly little rat. And then by the end, you're watching little sea turtles crawl towards a cityscape because they think that it's stars instead of going to the ocean. So it really is this powerful message that isn't talked about a lot. We focus on the nature. But it's like when you integrate nature and society, which is what most people have exposure to, it doesn't work very well.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a powerful thing but then there is that moment of hope where it's like, yeah, but there is still a wild world out there. We just have to preserve it. I think that's important.
Are you more interested in like the communicating of the biology, like biological, non-human, like natural world? Or is it more so about preserving? Or is it kind of all of it together?
What do you mean? Sorry.
I mean, like, because you clearly have a passion about the biology broadly.
Yes.
Because I know you've talked to me in the past about like your love of just talking about it and communicating it to like people in like layman terms and breaking it down, kind of. But you also clearly have a passion for like preserving the natural world as well. Like focusing on like getting out there and fucking, you know what? I'm gonna blow up an oil executive.
No,
you said that to me.
Yeah, in confidence at my own home.
Well, it was recorded, and this is too.
Okay, and you're wearing a
This is
wire.
actually AI.
Yeah.
This is actually AI. Yeah, I have 6 fingers on one hand, and I killed Inigo Montoya's father, and that's really tough.
Hmm.
But so what's more important to me?
I guess like, what is your focus right now? What are you kind of leaning towards? Because unless you want to do both at the same time.
I thought there is a space for both. I mean, we met through improv, so like theater is also a very huge portion of my life. I don't know. You've seen me. We performed together, team together, all these kinds of things. And I would love to marry those two things. Like, currently, like in terms of like career passions wise, the direction of conservation ecology is very important to me. But I feel like a lot of that, this is more of a personal sort of thing of, I feel that media and education is the most important things we could do. That's what we talked about. Those nature documentaries. I don't know how many of those that you watch, but people love those. Like, they're fantastic, and they inspire this creativity in the natural world. So I think that's the sort of direction where I'm passionate about conservation. I think that's a huge thing. Sort of my thesis was on like developing, or not developing, but determining how different species react to changing climates, particularly algae species, which is very, very cool to me, and I'm happy to talk about that more.
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into these are the algae. What is algae for people like me who don't know jack?
Yeah, so algae is a very broad general classification for marine fauna. Flora, where there's a little bit of a weird classification, but for the most part, when you see something green, red, or brown that looks like a plant in the water, it's what's called a macroalgae, which is an algae that you can observe. There's also microalgae, which are microscopic and is what sort of a very base level of the food chain that works its way up. But they are what are producing about half of the oxygen on Earth. 1 in every 2 breaths comes from the ocean, and 1 in every 10 breaths come from macroalgae. And there's 3 main classifications of algae, which are the colors. There's red algae, green algae, and brown algae, which all appear very similar, but evolved separately. They're what's called convergent evolution, which is when we see similar traits evolve separately in different species. Think about bats and birds. Both fly, both have wings. One is a mammal, one is a dinosaur descendant. Sort of this idea. And I particularly focused on a species of red algae called corallines, which at first glance look more like a coral, hence the name coralline, because they have this calcified shell on the outside. And they're really important for a lot of different things. We have a species here called Corallina vancouveriensis, which is one of the ones I studied, which is native to Vancouver. And they're huge for their cement race. They create a microhabitat for all those little creatures. And I wanted to see, because you have this calcified shell on the outside. You okay? The calcified shell on the outside, how do increased temperatures and pH levels in the ocean affect these species? The answer is pretty well. They're pretty resilient. But it's an important thing that sort of stream of research is how do we preserve so that we can educate and conserve all these animals and the idea and this love of nature.
Yeah.
That kind of makes sense.
What's the risk if some of this stuff goes away? Because I feel like a lot of people think about like certain, especially like plant species going extinct is kind of like that's just it's just the name of the game. Shit just goes extinct sometimes.
Yeah. The biggest risk is, for one thing, they create habitats. There's lots and lots of cases of species that are only associated with specific habitats, and when those go away, that is like the major issue that we see. So things like the great horned owl where like if the forests that they live in go away, that species goes along with it. Like I think at this point there's only about 1,000 of those left in the world, that kind of thing. And that's the sort of the big one we present to the world. But to me, an even bigger threat is invasive species. I think a lot of people don't understand why invasive species are such a huge problem. What defines an invasive species, in broad terms, is a species that has no competitors. It comes to a place, and it proliferates like wildfire. Proliferate meaning it reproduces, basically.
Oh, it's having a lot of sex.
It's so much sex.
It's like ASU, freshman year, ASU.
Damn.
Yeah.
Takes me back.
Yeah.
Wait. But yeah, so that's a bigger issue, and that we see is when species die off, the things that replace them have no natural predators. Like this is the thing, we even see this with humans, where it's like, why?
It's like when black people joined the baseball league. It's like, man, just taking over.
Jackie Robinson.
Breaking records.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
You killed it out there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like this is a question I got the other day. It's like, why in like Africa specifically, why are there so many diseases and parasites there compared to the Western world? Like Ebola evolved there. There's way more ringworm, all these kinds of things.
Even their strain of malaria is fucked.
Oh my goodness, yeah, don't get me started. Yeah, but it's because humans and ancient hominids evolved there. So the competitors and the predators evolved alongside them. So when you move out somewhere out here, we proliferate and we take up all this space, and like we kill off all the megafauna. Because we move out here, the mammoth is like, what are these guys? Why can they run forever? They'll hunt us down across the whole world. And so that's the sort of issue that you have with when any species dies off, is not only is it gone and anything that lives there, but now there's a space in the market for someone else to come and steal from. Particularly with algae, there's a species called sargassum.
What did you call it?
Sargassum muticum is the actual scientific name. Oh my god! 2 funny sex words in one brown algae species. It's crazy. But yeah, it's this
Sargassum
muticum. Yeah, but this is...
and where'd you go up to last Friday night? Oh, I caught a sargassum.
Sargassum. Yes, if you sargassum, I'm a muticum. You know what I'm saying?
She sargassum on my muta till I...
Please stop. Stop talking.
Go ahead.
This is very serious. We're talking about... Yeah. But, yeah, that's something I'm passionate about, and that's why invasive species are such a huge problem in the world.
So should we just kill invasive species whenever we see them?
Yes and no. Also, it's a weird thing in nature. It's like, when does a species no longer classify as an invasive species? Like, I don't know if you've walked around Pacific Spirit Park or even Stanley Park. You see all those brown and black squirrels and the gray, brown, and black squirrels. The big ones that we consider, those are invasive species. And they're actually killing off our native chipmunks and things. But they also have predators here, and they've been around for a while. So it's like, well, what do you... You're never going to get rid of them. Do you just create a space and you just say, because things do move and migrate, humanity has just become a force of migration. And that's sort of an important step. So it's more complicated, and it's really on a case-by-case basis. There are things like the species giant hogweed, which is not only an invasive species, but it is dangerous. And that it produces this super crazy chemical toxin that causes your skin to no longer be able to have a natural sunblock, essentially counteracts melanin in your skin and causes you to get crazy second to third to second degree burns from just being in sunlight. So big, huge problem, and it's super invasive. So something like that, there are conservation efforts to remove that and limit its growth. For the most part, once something's here, it's here to stay.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part. Yeah.
You had a question, Sood?
Yeah. What role do you think urban planning also plays in just invasive species and how common they become?
Yeah, that's a huge problem because often a lot of the plants that we think look good are terrible. Like even common grass species used for a lawn has no ecological value whatsoever. So when you're urban planning, there is this priority in symmetry. You want to have things that stay the same and look the same. Aesthetics, yeah. Like in Vancouver, we have a lot of cherry trees. These cherries and I can't remember the name, but there's these two very commonly planted trees that, particularly the cherry blossoms, which are fine. I actually don't know if they're native, but they don't have a huge ecological impact. But when you are cutting down forest and putting these cherry trees that are not native or necessarily not indicative of the entire ecosystem, that's when you get problems. Does that kind of answer your question? I can keep touching on that. So I
think the one thing, this one urban planning plant thing I've heard that really bugs me is that so the issue with female trees is that they grow fruits and then the fruits fall down.
Yeah.
And then it creates a mess, right? So essentially they eradicated female trees and just had the male trees.
Oh, dude, Andrew Tate of trees, dude. Joe Rogan of trees, man.
They spread around the pollen, but the pollen had nowhere to go. And that's why in some places people have
terrible allergies.
It's like the trees are on 4chan.
Exactly.
It's just spreading pollen.
Spreading pollen all over the place.
Who do you think made that decision? Was it a woman? No.
Probably not.
I don't think so.
Yeah, and there's another example of that with a tree called ginkgos, which are crazy fact about ginkgos. There's only one species within the entire class, and it existed from ancient times.
Damn.
But the female fruits, when they fall, smell absolutely rancid. So if you ever see one, we have a bunch on campus. They are only ever male trees, and that same issue where it's like the only reason these things are here and they will never be anywhere else because they have no way of reproducing. That's another thing, is you're limiting it so that this ecosystem will never exist on its own. So you have that same thing where you're producing pollen, you're making these crazy fruits, or you don't want them, and then you're limiting the growth of the ecosystem. So it's essentially reliant on urban planners to continue to update those sorts of things.
Yeah.
The other issue is that when you cut down a bunch of forest and build a parking lot for a Walmart, and then you say, well, we'll plant trees somewhere else, you can't really offset like that.
Okay, so you brought up a good point, because there's a kind of a thing going on in where we're located, British Columbia, about cutting down these old growth forests. Can you explain what the hell is going on here for people who don't know?
Yeah, so there's a huge in Vancouver in Canada and BC in general, we have a lot of old growth and even ancient growth forest, which are kind of misnomers. The term ancient and old growth is in some way reference to age. It's mostly it's a very generic classification of just an ecosystem that has been given time to grow and expand on its own, and it holds. But also, where you get particularly these giant trees, and that's the biggest thing for our lumber industry is you want to chop down bigger trees. Bigger tree means more lumber. More lumber means more profit. And you can always plant more trees, or that's the sort of thought process behind it. But it's inherently flawed. I don't know, how much do you know about sort of old growth logging?
Let's assume zero.
Assume zero. Okay.
I'm an expert, but let's assume.
Assume zero.
Yeah.
You know what happens when I assume? Something bad.
Makes a sporgasm. What are they called?
Sargasm?
Sargasm.
Yeah, and that's a problem.
You somehow made it worse.
Somehow. A sporgasm? Yeah. It's a whole different classification.
I'm sporgasming.
Anyway. Also,
my spores are releasing.
Yeah, so the first impact you have from old growth devastation and destruction and logging and things is that you're cutting down old growth habitat, which in the same way we talked about the horned owls and things, similar species only live in old-growth forests. And when you eradicate that, you're not only removing trees, which, yes, they will eventually grow back. That's not the problem. You're removing the habitat right now. If you remove a habitat and there's nowhere else for those animals to go, they just die. There's also this other idea that most habitat, particularly when there's so limited amounts of it, it's already full. Certain like bear species need kilometers, tens of kilometers of space as their territory. If another bear gets in that area because it's been displaced, they can't live there together. So in terms of that sort of thing, that's an issue. But the other issue that we have when you log these old growth forests, aside from all of the impacts on society, and they're not super economically profitable. Places in Europe have been doing 5th and 6th generation growth and cultivation, all these kinds of things, and have been just as profitable as old growth devastation. So that's a sort of a big thing. I'm sure there's more to it than I would know about it. I'm particularly focused on the biology. But the biggest issue that we have is when you cut down a forest and you replant trees, when those trees grow, they're all the same height. This is another issue that we have with wildfires, where we have some huge wildfires, and what's often noticed is almost all of BC was logged at some point. The majority of it. This is why this old growth, conservation is so important, is because there's not much of it left. But all of these remaining trees have been grown to the same height. So if a fire gets into what's called the crown of a tree, which is essentially you have sort of the ground layer, and then once it gets into the crown, which is where the branches, the leaves, where all the little birdies live, once it gets up there, it has a straight path similar to being on the ground within the crowns of the trees where you can almost never stop it. And that's where you get those huge burns that go on for kilometers and kilometers because they're all the same height, because there's no diversity in these forests. That's another benefit that these old growth forests have, is that there's different levels, there's a ground layer, because when these trees have been chopped down, there's time for things like salal, salmon berries, blackberries, all these things to grow at the ground level, and then the trees can grow up through it, but that ground level remains. When you have a uniform growth level, you're getting that shade that's growing at the exact same time as all these trees. So you have these crown fires, a lack of a ground layer, and it creates a vastly different ecosystem than what you saw in old growth forests. And that's kind of, from an ecological standpoint, the biggest risks with chopping down old growth forests. Not particularly funny. I know this is
Let's go back to Sporgasm. Sporgasm! No, I did want to give you an opportunity here because there's...
Are we done?
No. But this is going to go on for a while, and because I want to give you an opportunity, like, for me and Maydha to name an animal, and you provide a fact.
Oh, God. Yeah, I can try my best.
And we can call it Science Facts with Simon.
Only on the contrary, is that if I give a fact, you have to give one that you know as well.
Okay,
about
sure.
About that animal.
Sure,
obviously.
yeah, of course.
Or
yeah.
you can give one as well. So...
yeah,
I'll try my best. I can't guarantee. I've been doing this game for a long time, so eventually someone's going to give me an animal, and I'm going to be like, I don't know.
We're not that smart.
Okay.
Welcome.
I disagree with that.
Welcome to Science Facts with Simon. No, we're not that smart, I promise you. Watch this. Ready? Your first animal? Worm.
Worm?
Mm-hmm.
Well, people know, have you ever seen a worm? And they have that ring around their stomach, often depicted in the cartoon version of a worm. That means the worm is pregnant. It's very, very cool. And some of the biggest earthworms on the planet, they call the giant earthworm, can get meters long and live only underground. And they're pretty cool. They also only have, they're basically a giant straw because their mouth goes straight through them, similar to us, but they just shovel dirt through them. That's how they can bore so well. Tiny little teeth, and they just move that dirt behind them. So it's kind of a weird image to sort of discuss because that's how everybody is, but it's more defined in worms that it's just one big tube.
I'm just one big tube.
Just one big tube, and you can cut them in half and they'll reproduce.
Yeah,
and they'll regenerate, similar to sea stars.
Now, do I have to say a fact?
Yeah.
Or do you want to say?
Okay, so I think this is a warm fact, but I could be wrong. Do they breathe through their skin?
That's true. It's called cutaneous breathing.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's why they have to be moist all the time.
Moist worm.
Moist worm.
Do you want to name an animal?
Pandas.
Pandas. Pandas are dumb. That's sort of a weird fact, but they have the ability to eat other foods. They're essentially omnivores. One of the traits of being omnivore is you have to produce a certain amount of what's called salivary amylase in your mouth, which is basically the enzyme that breaks down sugar. And they produce that. But they only ever eat bamboo, which has almost no nutritional value. And they are going extinct slowly because they refuse to breed in captivity because they're shy. And it's a huge issue where they get attached to people, they don't want to breed with their own kind, and it's forming a huge problem in these conservation zoos.
Huh.
Yeah.
Fun fact about pandas. They are actually all black and they do the white every morning.
It's a powder. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a fact too. Every single panda in the world is apparently owned by China.
Yeah, they're conserved as I think they're a national animal, which is kind of a weird thing.
And then every place that has pandas has to pay money to China to have the pandas.
God bless the CCP, the greatest capitalists in the world. Moose.
Moose are the
Meese.
Meese. Sorry, one moose, many meese.
Mm-hmm.
Moose are the last North American megafauna, which is you have megafauna is just a big animal essentially. You have lots of those in Africa, in rhinos, giraffes, elephants. And like I was talking about before, when humans moved here, we killed almost all the other megafauna. Saber-toothed tigers. I think giant ground sloth was in North America, South America, and also dire wolves and mammoths as well. It kills off, and moose is the only one that remains.
How big are meese? Moose.
Moose are huge. I don't like thousands of pounds, meters, like several meters tall. As my grandma always says, if you see a moose on the road and it's between swerving and crashing into a ditch or crashing the moose, always swerve because they're so tall. If you hit them in the legs, they will just crash on top of you because they are taller than your car almost no matter what.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Have you been to the BT Biodiversity Museum?
No.
I think they have a moose head there. And when I first saw it, I was shocked.
They're ginormous. Another fun fact is the velvet that grows on the antlers of moose, deer, is one of the fastest growing animal tissues in the entire world.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it also true that when they're young, there is no velvet and it's just like mushy?
Yeah, like it is. It depends. It's also when they're very, very young. That's pretty common for any external keratinized or calcified substance.
It's like a baby's skull. You just want to squish it.
Basically, yeah. It's like basically two big soft spots. Porcupines are the similar when they're born with quills, but all their quills are soft when they're born, which apparently is wildly freaky to be like this mushy little guy. But in several hours, they'll harden into like the full quills and they'll have them the rest of their life.
Damn.
This is a free porcupine fact.
Damn.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? It's freaky.
Do you have another animal?
I want to say aardvark, but like I know nothing about aardvark.
Aardvarks, oh my goodness. Aardvarks, they're I'm getting this.
It's a TV show that has Jake Paul in it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that's bizarre.
that's a bizarre work. Well, bizarre work is a Logan Paul, and that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Aardvarks. This is where sort of my knowledge starts to fizzle.
To be fair, that's pretty niche.
It's pretty niche. I'm just gonna look up a photo of an aardvark just so I make sure I have the right animal in my head. I swear I'm not looking up facts. I just want to see it so I can remember what the animal looks like because I'm getting confused with one other animal.
Are you getting confused with an anteater? Because I am right now.
They're very, very similar. Okay, yeah.
Wait, can we see a picture?
Yeah, this is an aardvark.
Okay, I was getting What the hell?
Yeah.
That's an aardvark.
This is an aardvark.
Yeah.
And they are sort of tangentially related to anteaters. They have a very similar diet.
Ants?
Ants, grubs, worms. You can see they have those huge sort of front claws for digging and scraping. But the other thing is they're also they'll live in very arid, tundrous environments. You can see because they have those huge ears, very similar to like hares, that's their primarily means of sound and also dispersing heat from their body. You have this huge, very thin membrane they can use to like divulge all the heat that they want that they don't need, so they can stay cool in the hot sun. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
It's crazy that you know that.
Another fact about aardvarks.
Logan Paul show. Sorry.
Always
Jake
first.
Sorry.
And Olivia Rodrigo.
Oh,
Crazy.
I know.
Crazy combination.
ball knowledge.
Logan Paul's in the WWE now, which is crazy to me.
He's killing it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you almost took CM Punk's title. It's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, last animal. Final
God.
animal. Starfish.
Starfish. There's lots of different species of starfish. They are what's called echinoderms, which are related also to things like sea cucumbers, brittle stars, starfish, this sort of similar family. But what they have is what's called radial symmetry, which is where every single segment of their body is able to survive on its own. Each one has a piece of its digestive system, its pulmonary system, its respiratory system, and its nervous system. So as long as you cut it into a section that leaves that segment of its body with all of those pieces, for the most part, they will be able to regenerate. Another cool thing, not so cool thing about them is, have you guys heard of sea star wasting disease?
Nope.
It was this plague that was affecting sea stars, particularly in the Pacific Northwest, along our coasts here, that nobody knew what was happening. It's when it essentially just caused them to rot while still alive. Very simple. So for a long time, they thought it was maybe a prion disease or a virus. They had no idea, but it devastated populations. Only now, we're still seeing numbers that are vastly lower, and particularly affected what's called sun stars, which are like sea stars with way more legs, and it reduced them to till there was only tens of species, tens of individuals left, like decimated these populations. But just recently, I had a chance to meet with the woman whose lab finally synthesized the bacteria that was causing the disease, and in the process of figuring out a treatment for it. It's very, very exciting because I was also, when I was studying out at Bamfield, they were doing research on this wasting disease, and it's really cool to see that it is moving forward, and they're hopefully going to save the species a little bit.
Yeah.
They're very, very cool. I love sea stars. We have tons of them here, and I see them all the time when I'm tide pooling.
They don't have eyes, do they?
It depends. They have certain very basal eyes. Basal meaning a kind of underdeveloped eyes. Not necessarily in all sea stars, but in related species of like urchins, where they will have sort of very basic optic nerves that allow them to sense light, but they don't have eyes like we would.
Contrary to popular opinion, Patrick Star actually not scientifically accurate.
I knew it. And neither is that damn sponge. I'm gonna get him one day.
Final question for you. Why was Squidward so depressed?
'Cause he'll never get to experience the majesty of Jollibees, and that's really sad.
That sucks. The ube pie is delicious.
That does suck. Also, octopuses are super intelligent.
And also on the side, he was bad about the scientific inaccuracy
Of Patrick Star.
Yeah.
because like Squidward's pretty like scientifically accurate.
Why is he called Squidward if he's an octopus?
'Cause octopus word doesn't sound as good, I think, is
Also,
kind of
they
the bigger
appreciate
thing.
irony.
They do appreciate irony. Just want to have some free octopus facts, which is one of my favorite animals. Octopus have 9 brains, 3 hearts, 8 legs, and 2 bones in their entire body.
But only 1 heart, so don't break
well,
it.
3. 3 hearts. So it already got broken.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's so depressed. That's the biggest reason.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And so their only bones are their mouth, what's called their beak. And as long as the gap they're trying to fit in is the size of their beak, they can fit through it.
Oh.
Isn't that crazy? That's why they're such little rapscallions.
I wouldn't describe them that way.
I don't think I would describe anything that way.
Yeah.
I've been described as a rapscallion before.
Yeah, you're a rapscallion.
Yeah, particularly because I'm like a green onion.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a... Is that...
Scallion.
Scallion?
Oh.
Yeah.
That just made me think of a pirate.
He's a green onion with a chain and a microphone in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Anyways.
That's where we end the show. That's the button.
That's the button.
Simon Mattern.
Ross.
We have been going for damn near an hour, 45 minutes.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No. This was perfect.
Yep.
Thank you for enlightening us with your animal facts.
Yeah, I'm always happy to give that away.
Biology. I wish we could go longer. We kind of almost got kicked out almost.
We did almost get kicked out.
But yeah, thank you so much. This was just one. There's so much more that we could dive into. I'm sure.
So much more. Yeah.
But yeah, where can people find you?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Simon __ Mattern, Mattern. It's just kind of my personal. If you ever have any questions about biology or getting involved in the space of conservation, or you want to just chat, I'd love talking about this kind of stuff. I also like talking about computer science, which is my other half of my degree. Performance. Huge nerd. You want to talk about books? I love that sort of stuff. You can reach me on there. I'm often on campus.
He's floating around.
I'm floating around. You can come see me at UBC improv shows. Every show I'm there. Please come say hi. Throw an animal at me. I'll catch it. I'll pet it. And I'll tell you all about it. We'll try my best. And yeah.
And that's it. That's our show.
That's
everyone.
The show.
Any final words, Sood? Perfect.
Fantastic.
And good night. See you.
This has been a Valinov production. Who Is with Ross Oteri is recorded at CITR 101.9 FM on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Musqueam people. The podcast is hosted and produced by Ross Oteri, executive produced by me, Maydha Sood, edited by Sultan Sukarai, with graphic design by Heath Johnson, incidental music by Sean Henry Ikpa, and theme by Ethan Goring. We'd love to hear your story. Fill out the guest intake form and you too may be featured on the show. Bye!